we're here with Jack of Jersey Jack at IAAPA 2015. Since I interviewed you in 2012, how has Jersey Jack grown as a company?
How much memory do you have in that mobile device?
Well, in a nutshell, a little this, little that. You know, we're the big thing.
Well, you know, now it's really great because I'm here at this show talking to operators. I have Wizard of Oz games in stock. You know, we built about 2,600 games so far. We worked out all the bugs. You would know that. Now we have Pindemption, which really is the marriage of a true skill game, which is pinball, with a redemption game. So it's pinball, you know, that's on time-based play instead of ball-based play, easily achievable objectives, and all the young people and everybody understand how the game is integrated, how tickets are integrated in gameplay, and it's really doing well. And we had a great show. My voice is almost gone,
right,
which always tells me that I had a great show, and we sold a lot of games, and we shipped some games while we were here. It was great, really good.
Well, that was going to be my next question, is to explain in a nutshell, why is Pindemption to you a game changer?
You know, pinball for a long time is a game that a lot of people love, but it was really it's not included in an FEC today because nothing comes out of it. You know, in an FEC, a lot of people buy it because they think Dad's going to play the game or hang out, or you might need a pinball machine. Unfortunately, all the chains, Dave & Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese, Main Event, they don't have pinball machines because, you know, they think it's too difficult to maintain them, and they think they're going to make $20 a week.
So they're about meat and potato as opposed to secondary,
well,
and trying to make other people happy.
You know, look, there's so many games in an FEC that never get changed. You're not changing your ice balls, you're not changing your basketballs, all those big redemption games, they're glued to the floor. If you have one of our games, you're going to have revenue come out of it. We at an FEC in New Jersey, where we changed over our games from being a pinball machine to Pindemption, our real revenue went up 192%, and that's on embed card. So it's not that I made up a story. You know, I shared those revenue numbers with operators, and it's real.
Well, that brings me to a question from a while back. Have you yourself personally put Wizard of Oz on route of your own game, or how does that work?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't eat at a restaurant where the chef doesn't eat his own food. Right. So, you know, I'm not an operator in the sense of being an operator from years ago, where we revenue share games, but we have customers that certainly revenue share our games. And we work closely with those people. It took us 9 months to develop Pindemption software. You could actually go in this game and you could percentage it for how many tickets you want to give out. So if you want to give out 25, 30, 35%, even though pinball is a game of skill, the game will actually get a little bit more difficult if you play it, if you're a great player, and it'll get a little easier if you're not so good. Oh, okay. And a lot of people on location right now, they can't even play a pinball machine for 3 minutes. So you can go in and set the game 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, and you could actually make money with it.
And I heard yesterday that you have financing available. Is that possible?
We do. We have financing. I think Jen was telling me yesterday that the first 2 or 3 customers were approved. We just released that financing information last week, and it's financing for individuals or businesses. So that's pretty cool.
We talked to that. You talked to that 4 years ago at the Southern Pinball Festival. It makes sense. It's about timing. You know, you have all these things on the plate. It'll eventually, you know, come to fruition.
You know, we had some customers come yesterday who ordered Wizard of Oz games 2 years ago. You know, I didn't take any money, but they're operators, and I didn't give them games because we were back ordered. And I knew we were doing Pindemption, and I didn't want to give them the game for their FECs as quote unquote just a pinball machine.
Right.
I wanted it to be finished. And yesterday when they saw the game, they were happy that I didn't push these games on them before I felt it was time to deliver the game. So now next week, we're delivering a whole bunch of games next week because I waited. I had meetings with different operators here. I wanted them to actually see the game. So I think everybody, the respect for each other, them for us, is doing the right thing, and us for them, that we wanted to make sure the game was done. I think that gives you a lot of credibility.
Yeah, I'm a collector operator. It took 4 years from a hobby to become my living. I don't work for anybody else. I do pinball as a hustle. I fix them. I see the value of Pindiption or FECs. I know that, you know, FECs might say, oh, a game's pretty, but if you don't win anything, kids don't want to play.
Right.
You know, in a barcade, they're not going to want tickets. They might, but yeah, FECs, you have to give them what they want, what they have.
That's right.
You can't say, oh, well, here's something else. No.
Well, if I like vanilla ice cream and you like chocolate, and I go out of business and I say, well, I served ice cream, I didn't really serve my customer. It's not about me. And, you know, I'm only doing this 40 years. I kind of say that as a joke, but we're still learning. And, you know, we can learn from our customers and we can learn from our players. And that's how the company develops and that's how the product develops. So I always have to keep that in mind.
Now, right behind us is the game I played a lot this weekend, the Hobbit. I took a video yesterday. I had a 10-minute long game. I'm proud of that.
Oh.
I could have. It's a game that you play for 10 minutes that I wish I had an hour-long game because I could have got a lot more stuff done. You know. I enjoy it.
It's a very deep game.
Yeah, it's
very deep.
There's a lot going on. It's a full game. You know, just like Watts, it's still a full game.
And it's very different than Wizard of Oz. Very different play field, different lighting system. You'll see the dashboard on the video. The video assets look different. Between the two games, we wanted to make a lot of things different. And certainly Game 3, that'll be also different than the first two games that we made.
As of today, how far from production is The Hobbit? What's getting...
You know, if I said The Hobbit's days away and there are 365 days in a year, that wouldn't be the right thing to say.
I mean, like, logistically.
So today, I heard that we finally started building sub-assemblies today, which is really great. So to me, being here all week at the show, not being in the factory where I love to be, that was great news to hear. So that's the first step in going into full production building games, which I should see in the next few weeks. You know.
And so Woz, for the time being, will cease as Hobbit starts?
I don't know how many games there are still in the line in the queue to build for Wizard of Oz. We're building some to have stock and for the holidays. We have a lot of distributor orders, international orders also, and we want to have that product available. But we'll be switching over to the Hobbit shortly.
Speaking of the third game, how pleased are you with how well it's coming along today, as of today? I mean, how pleased are you?
So, you know, I'm really pleased, if that's the word. I think when you know, one of our customers said something really good to me. A lot of customers say good things, but a guy that works at a big tech company said to me, you know, it's okay to wait for great things. And I've had to have a lot of patience. Our customers have had a lot of patience. I can tell you that Pat Lawler's game will be on time because nobody knows when we're releasing it. As you know, I say that tongue-in-cheek, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't take any money on the game. We don't have to show anything to anybody, and progress is coming along really great, and I'm very excited about it.
What other than being an original theme sets it apart from the other two games?
It's designed by Pat Lawler. That's what sets it apart. That is, you know, it's not a license. Pat Lawler and the team of the license.
We know Pat Lawler and non-licensed games, and that they've gone hand in hand well, but what's different? I mean, it's
that game will be able to do things that other pinball machines never could do.
Never could.
Never.
So,
never could do.
So new.
Well, you know, I like to innovate and not imitate. Right? So I don't want to redo things that were done before. Oh, Wizard of Oz had one drop target. On Hobbit, you have 11 drop targets that are very unique.
And they reset
up and down individually. Right. So that hasn't been done before.
That's fun.
Right. Well, in Pat's game, you'll find physical things different and technological things that are different.
So patents.
Maybe not patents, but, you know, we were issued a patent for the pinball redemption system.
Right.
So I want to integrate that more fully into the games that we come out with, and backwards and integrate them in the Wizard of Oz and Hobbit as well. You know, I don't like to leave anything behind. I don't like to really dead end anything. I like to honor our customers and be loyal to that and be true to the product and support the product.
Right, Keith said years ago that what's in Woz, well, he wrote the whole thing, but what's in Woz continues to Hobbit, basically the guts, the core, the backbone.
Right.
So really it's, you can integrate things later.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of Redemption is retro and proactive.
We started with a lot of stuff in the game. I mean, the game's loaded. And really, you know, if you look around the show floor here, you see a lot of games that have nothing in them. And you see a lot of games that have so much in them. And the bill of materials on a game is not always, you know, in our industry, it's not always a direct correlation to what a game sells for. A lot of the Redemption games here, they may have a bill of materials for $5,000, could sell for $20,000
right,
because of what they earn, right? So we try to give value to our customers, and we try to make a profit as well, because we're obviously running a business, and we're not running, you know, something where it's a charitable, non-profitable organization.
Yeah, right. And so, and pre-ordering is done. That's not going to happen ever again with your company.
So if I have my way, right, and I'm pretty sure, you know, I've been very pleased to have my way a lot. And I thank God for that, really. You know, I'd like to show Pat's game to the world, and then I'd like to say we're going into production of that game on a certain date. Right. So maybe we take a very small deposit, a placeholder deposit, and we know what we believe we should sell of the game, order parts to build that many games, and know that in 90 to 100 days you should have those parts in the building, and have a good time frame, have our systems in place that are more able to have us predict with a better amount of reliability than just guessing what's going to happen. You know, this is where a 5-year-old company as a startup has to grow up, and it has to be more predictable, and we really need to develop and build 2 games a year. We need a game in the springtime, and we need a game in the fall. Maybe we need another game too. Maybe if the market's there, maybe we need 3 games a year. I don't know. But what the market calls for is what we hope to meet.
And Pat, the Wizard of Oz and Hobbit were the standard size. So Pat Lawler,
wide body.
Wide body.
Right.
But that was going to be the standard. Is Pat Lawler's same size or a...
Well, it's kind of out there that Pat's a standard size game.
Okay, so this is now the wide body.
Yes.
And that would be the standard.
Yes.
Okay. And there's going to be a super wide body, because that was spoke of as, I thought it was whimsical or serious.
Yeah, it might be a game the size of Hercules. Who knows? I don't know.
No, in between, something taller. You know, like yeah. Well, something like Pinball Circus. But you I don't know.
Pinball Circus is, you know, Pinball Circus is a novelty game to me. It's something unique. It's a pinball machine because it has a ball, but it's a unique novelty game that Python did. And Python, rest in peace, was a genius. And you know, I hope they get it built, because there are people that like that.
Would Jersey Jack ever make something like that, like a pinball novelty?
So one of the things I've said way before Justin Bieber is never say never. You never know. I mean, I never thought I would own a pinball company. It was never in the plan. I never said, gee, one day I'll own a pinball company. And, you know, who knows? I mean, we could probably build games other than pinball machines too. Why not? We have a factory, and we have great engineers, designers, game programmers, and game developers. So you never know. There might be a day where we build something in addition to pinball machines. Might build other games.
Whether it's in-house or outsourced to you.
Outsourced, you know, it's an interesting thing. It's like the line from Officer and a Gentleman, where you know, the drill sergeant says, my grandmother wants to fly jets. Everybody wants to fly jets. Everybody wants to come to me, and does come to me with pinball ideas. You know, if you go to Bruce Springsteen, he doesn't want to hear your idea about songwriting. He doesn't want to He doesn't want to get sued, first of all.
Yeah, I heard it.
He gave you the right.
Thanks.
So, today my concern is not that. My concern is that we have so many things to do that we use our assets and our time wisely to develop the best products we can for the marketplace and for our customers. And we serve both markets, right? The commercial market, where half my life is, because I'm a technician and an operator, and the other side of my life with all my collector customers, just like you. So now you're both on both sides of that fence now too.
How are they doing? They're like, how is operating as a market? How is it looking as a whole?
So look, here's what I look at, right? And I've said this before. If I asked you to go out and sell more Coca-Cola, you'd probably have a hard time. You'd have to invent that machine that mixes 100 flavors together, and that's what Coke did, right? So if I ask you to go out and sell more pinball and get pinball on location, it's really easy, because there are a lot of people that don't believe it works, it makes money, or it's viable anymore, right? So basically now, it doesn't matter what I say that the game works and makes money. You buy one of our games, you put it on a location, you see it works, you see it makes money, you're an evangelist for our product. You go out, you buy more of them, you talk to other operators, and that's how the word spreads.
And not to, I mean, I don't do redemption, never have, never will. You can't reinvent.
Say never. You might be back here. You might buy something or other somewhere.
I'd add something to a pinball machine before I made.
Well, there you go.
There's not really reinventing the wheel of a driving game, a shooting game. You know what I mean? The other things that are at IAAPA. You've seen it. It's prettier. It's more LEDs. A different character on it. That's how I see it. So to me, FECs, like you said, they already sell Coca-Cola and they already sell basketball hoops. They don't. Pinball is new.
Right.
It's something. It's like, whoa, refreshing.
Well, look, they say there's a lot of sayings. Everything old is new again. Those kind of things.
Right.
Things go in and out of style, and we all know what happened to pinball. How it went up, how it went down, how it went in, how it went out. And my opinion about it was that it needed to be updated and innovated, right? We needed to add things to it. So when I was a kid, maybe I played in the backyard with a Tonka truck in the dirt, and I could occupy myself a good part of the day, right? Today, 2-year-olds are in a stroller playing with an iPad. So you really need to have a product that appeals to a different generation. And the core player base of pinball people love pinball. They play our games and they love them. But to attract a new added player base, young people and women especially, I felt that we couldn't, put the kitchen sink in the game. We had to put the whole plumbing department in there. So it's sensory overload. So it was a lot. And I think we achieved that. Maybe we put more in there than we should have. It'll be debated by historians, maybe for many years. We did what we did. We made mistakes. We did some great things. We need to learn from them, and we need to go on and improve on the product and improve on the marketplace and continue to get more pinball machines on location. As long as they work, which our games work,
right,
and they make money, which they do, we're going to be fine. We're going to be selling a lot of pinball machines.
And becoming more modern. When your game is over on the Hobbit, it has a QR code and you can scan it. First time ever. I did it. I put it on the Instagram account, for the 904 Pinball Zine, so you can see. Right. I'm not taking credit for that score. It's not my score. Someone else did it.
It's all right.
But so that's where we're going. Is iPad is
social
online,
media,
social
connectivity
media
of the game, bringing the game forward, right? So we were issued a patent for a pinball redemption system, and part of that is Pindemption. Part of that is also taking your phone, connecting it to a game. Instead of tickets coming out of the game, The tickets go into our app, into
Right.
the phone, and then you redeem the tickets at a redemption center in the cloud.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into about that is the versatility of it. It's not just tickets.
Right.
So if someone's interested in it, they should dig deeper than just the cover of the book, because as I saw online doing my research, it can be more than just that. It really can be prizes more than just for kids,
Right.
adults,
Right.
adult things.
Right.
So
Experiences. Think of connecting your redemption game, Redemption, to Amazon.com.
Right.
Amazon on steroids. So where if you want to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, if you want to throw out the first pitch at a Yankee game, or a Cubs game, or a Met game, if you want to sit on the 50-yard line of a Patriots game, experiences, things like that. Yes, we can bring physical prizes, cameras and kayaks and canoes and whatever it is to the site, and it can be rotating merchandise and inventory. So it brings new excitement. For me as a street operator, it brings a true redemption skill game to the street for street operators, where they'll be able to buy a game and participate in a redemption game without having a physical redemption account.
And I, being in the industry, I respect redemption as a business entity, as a earner. Most people do not play for high scores. Most people do not play for points. They play a game for the whimsical fun of it, or to win something.
Right.
I play a lot of IAAPA events.
Right.
And people that play that, they'll play any game anywhere for IAAPA points. People that like to win things, that they want to win things. So it's a big market, and it's like you're saying, it's not the Coca-Cola of.
Well, look, you have to do what works, right? Yeah, you need, the simple rule is do more of what works and less of what does not work. Our industry has trained the player to play games that give you prizes, right? But we're in the entertainment business and the amusement business. So a lot of games that give prizes really aren't too entertaining or too amusing. Pinball is a game of skill, and it's fun, it's entertaining, it's mechanical, it's electronic, it's something that gets into you. And once you start playing it, with redemption, if you go to a swipe card location with redemption software, you swipe the card, guess what? The game starts itself. And a couple of seconds later, the game shoots the ball, because the game is going to assume you're a new player.
Right.
You might not even know where the start button is, even though that button is blinking.
Plus,
you might not know where the plunger is.
They want to get to business. People don't play redemption because they want to meditate. They want to get it. They're ready for action.
Absolutely right. And what we're doing is we're also teaching people to play pinball. Here's IAAPA. We're at a show where, as pinball people, we know that you could push the start button 4 times to play 4 players. Nobody here knows that. We're in a different world, so you have to forget about all the things you knew in the past, and you have to look at everything as a brand new person. Why are there scores on that back box? Why are there initials with scores with really high numbers? Why are they there? They're there because in the old days, you had to set a bar for a player to achieve at, and you didn't want to give away games or balls, and you had to have something there. Maybe they really don't need to be there anymore. Maybe they can be adjustable. Maybe they can be presettable by a player or a customer. So there are a lot of things that we're looking at about the games where tradition was there, but today tradition might not be the right thing to make money today, or to encourage new customers to buy our games.
Right. Pinball has a learning curve.
Oh yeah.
Unlike every other game here, and it may need that. It may need each occasion a very easy mode, or not easy, but simple, because there's a learning curve.
Well, we've started to set our games going to homes on easier settings, and there are presets for a home mode, because Wizard of Oz is a really deep game, and so is the Hobbit. We don't want to frustrate you. If you just bought the game, your grandson or your child or you just getting introduced to pinball, the last thing I want you to do is get frustrated. So I want to have ball save. I want to have, yes, do I want you to play better, to get better at? Yes, but I don't want to frustrate you right out of the box where you're not some champion and the game is knocking you off the game every minute, you know? So there's got to be some understanding on our part, which we're very conscious of this, to make the game more friendly, more player friendly, to build that player base and not frustrate.
And in this industry, from what I can tell, it's going to take new buyers. It's going to take new enthusiasts. It's, you know, and to them, it's like they're buying a Corvette, and they may know how to shift gears, but they don't know how to drift. They don't know how to, you know, it's a learning curve on how to be a good driver of a fancy car or a fancy pinball machine. You know,
well,
it takes a while.
And you're right. And the other part of that is this. When we sell you a game, and it's a lot of money, whatever the amount of money is, you know, it's a lot of money, and we respect that. The game has to work. It has to work out of the box, and we have to warranty it, and we have to make sure that the game actually not only works out of the box, but, you know, Mrs. Jones gets our game, and she paid a lot of money, and she plugs her refrigerator in, and guess what? It makes ice, and it stays cold, and she's done with it. Pinball machines, traditionally, we know, they're going to require some attention. So we need to develop a really good technical base of people that are able to go out, that are authorized and trained by us to go out and do service calls, where we have people that we do a background check on, that we have insurance for, where I'm confident to send somebody to your home, so I know that that person is qualified to be let into your home, that if they knock something over by mistake or whatever, that there's insurance coverage there. So all those things, to do them all really the right way, it's more involved than just, you know, just like throwing buckets of water on a fire that's out of control.
So that's a priority at the moment, is developing that tech base, because honestly, you know, unless it's in a major city, there's not going to be a pinball tech. And even in a major city, they're not easy to find.
Right, and you know, the benefit we have is that with having the history of pinballsales.com for 15 years, selling thousands of games all over the country, actually all over the world, but all over the country, I've developed relationships with a lot of people, you know, that are very capable to repair our games. So what we need to do in a more formal way is gather those people, train them, certify them, and build a real network where we have the confidence to sell a Jersey Jack pinball machine to somebody that never owned a pinball machine, and that game worked reliably, and they buy game number 2, and they buy game number 10, and they recommend it to their friends, and it's a real business. There's a real, you know, there's a real need for that.
There hasn't been that type of business training tech operator since like 20 years. It's been, or longer. It's been a long time, right?
Well, so what we're going to do is right after the new year, as we get into production of the Hobbit, I'm going to go out to distributor open houses, pinball events. I'm going to take our technical people with me, and we'll do a seminar on how to service our games. So this way, for a route operator or FEC operator, the technician understands our games so that they're not fearful of it. If you repaired 1969 Corvette, and now you put your head in a 2016 Corvette,
right,
you know, you shake your head. That's not the fear factor of what this is. This game is very easily serviceable by somebody that's qualified to service it.
Right.
Somebody that's not qualified to service it, somebody that might see it the first time, it might take them hours to do something that should take them minutes.
Right.
So we want to demystify the game. And as a technician, you know, I know that if I understand something, I feel more comfortable with it, right? I feel more comfortable buying it. So if a technician is walking at this show, and they're walking with the owner of the company, and the owner of the company walks by my game, and he says to the technician, what do you know about those games? And the tech isn't familiar with it, the tech out of defense, just not to be stupid, says, I don't know, or gee, they break. Well, everything in this room breaks. So I want those technicians to say, you know what, I learned about Jersey Jack pinballs. They're really easy to diagnose. They use standard parts that are readily available. They have a great warranty. They have a great customer service. If you really need to get Jack, you can dial 1-800-473-JACK, and you can get him on the phone, nights and weekends. That's insane. And the guy that owns the company is going to say, you know what, give me a couple of those games to try. And that's how you have to do that.
Is there going to be like, for your authorized techs internally, because there'll be internal ones that are authorized, they have like internal database or they can look up answers to questions?
I don't want to get into all of that.
Right.
Some of that will be a little proprietary.
Right.
But yes and yes and yes. It'll be, all the I's will be dotted and all the T's will be crossed. And the people we have, we're going to have a system where the people that do service, they will be rated, and the people that they do service for, they might be rated also. So this way everybody knows what to expect without getting any surprises.
It makes sense, because right now I do tech, you know, and I've been working on games 4 years. I'm an IT guy, servers, routers, switches, all that jive. So I crawled into a computer chair, then I learned how to walk. So I've been around this. But again, there's people who have done this 30 years, 20 years. That really should be reflected, you know, and that really isn't, you know, reflected out there in the market right now.
If you became a car dealer, let's liken it to a car dealer, right? If you became a car dealer, you're required to do certain things.
Right.
And you're required to have a showroom a certain size, a certain amount of parts department,
right.
Certain training for your technicians, all those things. Well, guess what? All those things need to come from Jersey Jack as a manufacturer,
right.
Jersey Jack distributors, Jersey Jack authorized service people. All those things need to happen, because that's what protects and promotes the sales in the past of our games,
right.
and the sales in the future of our games.
And every company has that. Cars.
We need to have that, because when a new model BMW comes out, there's all kinds of training that happens. You know, we weren't able to do a lot of these things, honestly, right? Because you have a startup company, everybody's running, try to make the game, get the games out, do all this stuff. But, you know, the infrastructure of what a company is, and the systems, the processes, the people, we have some amazing people in our company. I definitely did not do this myself. We have an amazing customer base that was amazingly supportive in helping us start the company. We have some amazing distributors. We have some distributors that really, they just put a picture of one of our games on their website, and maybe they don't stock the product. So we need to think about who our distributors are and how we interact with them. And so, you know, as you go through a lot of different things, you need to think about how you're doing business and who you're doing business with. And it's an ongoing process. It's not, you can't do everything at once, but we're trying. You know, we're trying.
Yeah, you're connecting the dots, and you know it's the finishing touches, because you have most things in place. It's really
right.
The finishing touches.
I mean, you know what would be bad? If you had all those things in place and you had a product that nobody wanted to buy, or a product that didn't work, or a product that you couldn't sell. So, you know, while we've done some things that weren't perfect, we didn't do everything that was wrong.
You did more right than wrong.
I'd like to think that way, yes. But we could do a lot better in the future. I think there's a lot of room for improvement.
Lastly, how bright is the future of pinball, and what do you think it'll take to keep its demand healthy as a product, as a product?
Well, it'll take continuing to make fun games first and foremost. I think the future for pinball is really great. I don't know that we'll ever build 22,000 of something again. If we have a shot, if anybody has a shot, I'd like to believe we have a shot at doing that.
Well, I look forward to many more thousands of pinball machines to be made.
Thank you.
On location in people's houses, and for me the future is
And
bright.
locations.
On location.
And locations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. I appreciate all your passion for pinball, everything you're doing, and that's how it happens. It happens just by getting the word out.
We're all in this together.
Playing pinball, absolutely.
Thank you
very much.